Hello everyone and welcome back. Heir of Jade here, and we're going to be continuing our march as Grand Cathay here in the Shadows of Change DLC. And yeah, a lot's happened since the last videos I made. Actually, right after I posted the last videos I made. It was kind of interesting. I was about to post my videos, and we'd gotten a message from CA saying, hey, we're going to post something on the price of the DLC because a lot of people are upset about the price. And I went and I read the post, and I mean, let me just say this. Have you all ever seen me be into dramatics? Like, have I ever gone on Twitter or YouTube and tried to stir something up or take something controversial and, you know, use it to get views or something like that? If I have, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't remember it. If it's something I do, I don't do it often, I don't think. Either that or I'm just dumb. And if I am, then feel free to point it out. But, wow. Like, I read the statement, and I was just like, that is not going to make people happy. I was expecting, when they talked about how they were going to put a statement out, and they were going to try and hurry it out, I figured they were going to release something that's like, hey, you know, we heard all your feedback, we understand, times are tough, you know, everything's more expensive, so we're going to reduce the price by a little bit. That's kind of what I expected. And at worst, you know, I expected to just say, yeah, you know, hey, we're really sorry that this has people upset. We're going to look at this, you know, going forward and do everything we can to make sure we have, you know, good value for you, which we felt like we did here, but, you know, hey, point taken. Like, I expected to be a statement kind of like that. It really wasn't. It was kind of a statement of execution. I mean, I don't want. I mean, it was kind of like a tough luck type of thing. Some people, I didn't see it this way when I read it, but some people were saying that they felt like it was a veiled threat. That like, hey, if you don't support these prices, then this game isn't going to go on. And then a lot of people apparently suddenly felt like that it was kind of giving 3K vibes. Like, is CA going to give up on this game? I don't think that's the case. Obviously, bad enough sales or something on anything could drive something that way. But anyway, it's quite the controversy, apparently. And people started review bombing the game. And I did notice that the views, well, my views are never really high anymore because I've been on YouTube longer than most fossils have been in the ground. And so people have moved on and they're finding other stuff. So yeah, I mean, but my views weren't great, even for me. And a lot of the other, a lot of my peers who make content were saying that their views weren't good because that statement went around. Anyway, it caused a lot of stink. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you what to think about it. I'm not going to tell you whether or not you should buy the game. I don't do that, like I said, because I'm not here to stir up some kind of thing to generate me some views or anything. I was just talking about it because it's a hot topic right now for the Total War community. Feel free to share your thoughts on the statement and the whole situation in the comments. I would like to actually hear what you're thinking. It helps me, and we do give feedback to Creative Assembly on this type of stuff. I haven't on this yet, but a ton of my peers were definitely providing feedback on how they think they can be better. Now, it doesn't mean they have to listen, but their community team is good about taking our feedback and then passing it back to the company leaders or, you know, team members that it needs to go to. Anyway, all that said, feel free to share. I want to hear what you all say, and if you disagree with the way someone feels about it, it's okay. You know, this doesn't usually happen on my channel, so I don't really expect it, but, you know, just refrain from tearing into someone if you disagree with their take on the situation. Let's listen and hear what people think. I'd love to see the comments. And again, I'm not accusing anybody. That happens so otherworldly rare on the channel that I don't expect it. But just saying, you know, let's make sure and let people feel the way they want to, because I know that some people are deeply upset about it all, and I know other people are just like, you know, hey, whatever, I think it's gonna be fun, I'll pay them the 25 bucks and play the game. But again, like, let's not get after each other too much. Let's just share some thoughts. Anyway, here we go. I'm gonna start a siege here. The Blue Vipers are probably gonna come out and attack me. I think we can probably take them. I hope I'm not wrong. Because if not, I just picked off a bigger bit than I can chew there. Let's see. There's nothing I can build at the moment. And as far as the Ivory Road goes, we don't have any active caravans, and we should. Let's go ahead and crank up the caravan here. Load it on up. I think we'll send it out to see the dwarves. Wait, 5260 and how many turns? 9 turns, only 5 turns for 4620. That seems like a pretty good deal right there. Let's dispatch. And the garrison lord. I'm not going to move this garrison lord right now. I just don't really have a reason to. As soon as I can get enough money, I'll build this up and try and take the riverlands away from these vampires here. But yeah, anyway, crazy times. Crazy times for the Total War community. But I hope that like, I don't know. I hope that things be right in people's minds in the sense that I'm playing the content. Yes, I was given access to this content for free. So it does make my situation a bit different in the sense that, like, I'm not sticking my money up for it. Now, would I put my money up for it? Well, yes, I would. Like, if someone wants to know, Air, what would you do? I would be upset at the company for being tone deaf on PR. But I would still buy it. And here's the reason why I would buy it. I have a great job. I'm lucky in that respect. Is it really expensive? Sure, it's really expensive. Like, $25 is a lot for DLC. However, the thing is, I don't buy a lot of games. And the games I do buy, I go all in on them. So would I buy it? Yes, and that's the reason why. And some people are like, man, $25 is so expensive. Again, not downplaying it, it is expensive. I had to fill up my truck with gas today. That was $75. And yeah, so like I guess what I'm saying is I do pay probably $600 or $700 a month more for all the things that I need. And I've cut some stuff out. Since like a couple of years ago. So $25 being the difference between, what was it, like $12 back in the day for Lord Packs or something, and now, is that a huge increase? It is, like percentage wise, but for me it's just, I play these games a lot. I would get my money's worth out of it. I guess a good example would be like the Tears of the Kingdom game that came out recently. It was $70, and a lot of people were mad that it was $70. I've probably already spent like 90 or 100 hours on that game. Like, it's some of the cheapest entertainment I can buy. But again, I don't buy a lot of games, so it ends up being fine for me. Again, none of what I'm saying here, I'm just sharing what I would do in that situation, which is feel like that the company didn't do a good PR job. I would understand why people were upset, but I personally would go ahead and get it because of my situation. But I would certainly not be faulting the folks whose situation is different and who feel differently, because I understand, I think, why they feel the way they do. Even though it is not my current state. Anyway, there you go. So that's what I think. We've covered it. Let's cover it no more. I mean, unless you all have questions for me, I'll answer them on the next one if I see it, and we can get to it. But let's go kick some butt here. Get our mind on something more fun. Where? What? Okay, the reinforcements are coming from way back there. I'm guessing the Blue Vipers then deployed way over here. Let's go do some scouting. I don't have eyes on any other units, which makes me think... are they well, they wouldn't be all deployed in that forest, I don't think. I would have thought my flyers could see something from up here. I don't know, let's go find them. Alright, where are you? Maybe back... oh, I mean, all these forests are like way back here. They didn't... I don't think they would have deployed over there. Or maybe there was... okay, maybe they attacked me with the front army, and then there's like one person hidden over here. That could be the case. I'm like over here expecting to see a whole army. Maybe that's just not the case. Flew over that. I didn't see anybody. They may have deployed over here in the woods. There they are. Okay, yeah. It was a single orc war boss. There's 30 seconds till reinforcements. I don't think we can kill that war boss very easy because he's pretty well armored. I mean, I could dive bomb him, but I just don't think it's going to be worth it, so... let's just hold him. And let's keep moving up the hill, try and get into a position to face these reinforcements. And I will keep an eye on said reinforcements. Probably want to back up because there's probably going to be some archers in there. Indeed there will. I could have brought my Jade Lion up and attacked the guy, but again, reinforcements are on the way. We'll get to him, it'll be alright. Still got a good long run to get into position here. That ought to be good right there. Let's go take up position. Alright, their war boss is headed right towards me. I'm gonna go try and engage him early. I'm gonna try and keep my scouts up here. I do have the Jade Lion, who ought to do some damage here. But Yuan ought to do very well against this orc war boss. He is quite the he's a pretty solid duelist. Okay, my army is getting into position. I'm gonna bring swords up here, second line of spears, bows there. Awesome. Okay, so Yuan has begun the duel. I'm gonna send in the tiger there to help out, or the yeah, Jade Lion. Sorry, Jade Lion. Okay, I'm gonna back up with my flyers just a little bit. Try and take myself out of range. Alright, here comes the battle. Let's cut off this flank over here. Alright, we routed their lord. I'm going to countercharge those Savage Orc Warboys. They don't have a lot of armor, so I feel like I can collapse them pretty quickly. There we go. Let's use our archers to start bringing down theirs. And let's get some metal raining down from the skies here. And then I've got my magic abilities here. Let's roll it through that blob. There we go.
My elixirs are ready.
Elixirs. Alright, there we go. Let's get our cavalry back. And our archers are really doing well here. I'm gonna pour some shots across this fight. Our Jade Warriors are doing extremely well too. They have very good armor. I'm going to use my flyers for a bit of rear charging up here. I'm gonna go target out some of these units. Time for another bombardment. I didn't actually mean for our alchemist to get engaged in combat there. I don't know if I can get her out or not. I'm gonna try. Some of that hit the trees. And Yuan is doing amazing up in here. Okay, after that war boss, let's switch targets here. Alright, we are basically rolling up the enemy at this point. Greenskins will regroup and continue to come back into the fight. I'm actually just going to kind of roll up these Jade Warriors here. I'm going to send reinforcements this direction. And let's send our flyers up and over to help out over here. Okay, our peasant archers were pretty effective in this fight. We just got really solid. Alright, executed one of their leaders. Nice. Yeah, they've got one more leader over there. I'm actually not sure if we can get to him real easily, but there we go. Gained ourselves a really solid victory here. I'm gonna let my archers shoot some of these guys up real quick, just get a few parting cheap shots. Kill a few of their guys on the way out the door. There we go. Alright. Let's end that battle. Well, I feel like that was a good solid victory. Let's go ahead and replen the army because we're likely to have another battle on the next turn. Though it should be a lot more heavily in our favor since we killed off the Savage Orcs pretty efficiently there. Winds of Pain. Alright, so let's see how it stands now. Yeah, now we can get a pretty easy auto-resolve. We'll take it. And let's go ahead and occupy Poha. And we're going to continue just snapping up the property of the Blue Vipers here. And we probably want to make nice with the Empire factions around here, if they are willing.
Fine.
Same thing with Hexodal. I would prefer to make nice with them at the moment, but they are not so much interested. That's fine. Perhaps we can change their mind over time, but this is going to kind of lock us into a little bit of territory here. If we want to bust out of it, we'll have to go fight the Jeruki to our south. But I feel like that's fine. I'm hoping, yeah, the Hunts Marshal's on very friendly terms with this. This is good news, and that'll only get friendlier here. He is at war with the Blood Keepers, which is I think it's a Khorne faction? Yeah, he's not at war with these Druki, but if we went to war with the Druki, he might eventually get pulled that direction too. We're going to want to take as much territory as we can. I mean, money-wise, it's just going to make the most sense. So Yuan Bo has another skill point. I'm going to throw that into Unyielding. This will make our Jade Warriors and Celestial Dragon Guard be a lot more competent in combat. You can see it gives them melee attack and defense, very nice upgrades. It makes them very well rounded. In fact, I mean, go show you over here, like, they're already pretty good units at this point. They're not amazing, but by the time we get them up into like the 7 to 9 chevron range and get those additional upgrades, Cathay and infantry is pretty sturdy. Like, it's definitely something you can rely on to hold the line properly. Okay, got a garrison lord not moved. I do have a fair bit of money.
General of the Celestial Host.
It may be enough to get started in the fight against these vampires. I don't really know how much troops those vampires have. I'm not going to have access to much good stuff here, but I mean, I could go ahead and like grab a few of these to just hold up like a bit of an armored main line, and then throw in a couple archers for picking off vampire stuff. So I'll see what we can fill in on that army, and then we'll try and get after those vampires. Because I think, money-wise, we'll be in pretty good shape at the moment. Alright, let's think about where we want to point the compass here. Let's remind ourselves where we need to go. We need to go to the Southern Sentinels, which I believe is further south in Lustria. Star Tower, which is on the east coast of Lustria on an island, I believe. And then the Great Turtle Isles are to my south and west. And then Hexodal. Ooh, okay. Well, we're probably not going to make friends with the lizards. Characters are immortal. Dang, minus 75% attrition. That is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, I mean, that said, I may want to just go attack Hexodal now before they get strong. So I think I'm going to go for the Shrine of Sotek and then just attack Hexodal before it gets to be too dangerous to do so. We do have a sale of cargo value. We do have a caravan on the way, which that should help get a little bit of extra cash out of the caravan. I don't think it'll be amazing, but, you know, hey, why not? Take what we can get where we can get it. We've already got some good trade resources. We've got the gemstones, we're going to have iron, we're going to have the medicinal plants, so definitely a good start to trading. And if we can go take Hexodal, which will be easier said than done, there's gold there. So Blue Vipers want peace, understandably so. Oh, is that cinnabar spice over there? Or what they call it. Dyes, sorry.
The Jade.
Greenskins aren't going to be happy about me stealing their supply of dyes.
Brave warriors of Cathay.
I'm going to move towards their settlement. And oh, there's marble here too. Holy cow, there's so many good trade goods over here. I'm going to snag those and start profiting off of them because I really want to afford that second army. If I can get my second army up and running in decent numbers here, we can make some nice pickups. There's furs over there as well. So I'm going to attempt it. There we go.
Celestial General
points, inspiring presence. Okay.
I would lead more effectively.
It won't be a great army, but if we can get it numerous enough, it may do what is needed. And if I don't declare war on the vampires, I can kind of scooch into their territory and get a peek at what they've got before we make a run on it.
Gone.
What do you want, Zinch? Bring it on. Okay. Man, speaking of Zinch, Changeling has been pretty fun. I've been playing it, and I mean, I have to say that it's been interesting. I can't give like a review or anything, and I'm not going to like a final take, but it's been an interesting play style. In the sense that, you know, it's just very different from what you get in the other factions. So that one's certainly been interesting. And I have the Mutilith Vortex Beast. If I say that wrong, I apologize, but that Vortex Beast is really a neat unit. The abilities and stuff on it make it a lot of fun, in my opinion, to control. Looks like Baleful Hills is unguarded.
Instrument of the Divine.
I'm gonna just stick with this army. Actually, we can just step into the Baleful Hills. I mean, hopefully the vampires don't just come back and slug me in the face with a big 20 stack. This is gonna be risky. It calls them rank 131, so probably not. But you know, the AI does sometimes have large armies, and that's the way I want it. I've set it up that way intentionally. I'm gonna go ahead and fight this so that you all can see this new lord here, and also so that I can just make sure we take minimal losses. I'm gonna go ahead and fight that battle, and while we are loading in, I should have had this ready, but I'm gonna go open the last episode, check out some of the comments that you all left me, so give me just a second to swing over there and get those pulled up. Let's see, Limbo. Yeah, let's see, as far as some of the comments go, the first one here was from Mr. Gaton. I can't. I'm gonna call him Mr. Gaton. It says, as a historical fan, I think Cathay is my favorite faction because it's a big human empire with just enough fantastical seasoning to keep it fresh and interesting. Plus, every new tidbit of lore that comes out has me more intrigued. Yeah, I think Cathay is a lot of fun too. I tend to agree with that. I've played multiple campaigns with Cathay. They're definitely up there in my top tier in terms of factions that I enjoy. I think that whether or not you're going to enjoy a faction is going to have a lot to do with, like, you know, your personality and your style of play in the game. And that is one of the cool things about Warhammer, is that there are so many different styles of play. And my gosh, like, speaking of so many different styles of play, you know, we do have a new historical game coming up with Total War Pharaoh. And I'm really hoping, because I did see it in Troy. Troy was probably like semi-historical, and then it became like probably more on the fantasy side whenever they did the expansion. And quite honestly, it was the fantasy side of that game that sucked me in. And I really liked it, just unfortunately no one wanted to watch it on the channel, so I couldn't really justify playing a whole lot of it. But I think Troy was already on the right track in terms of making different factions pretty unique, and I think if Pharaoh can do that, that'd be really cool to see in a historical title, because it can totally be done. I think those mods that you all have been seeing me mess with in the Rome 2 replays, those mods are amazing. What the folks are doing on it, they are already making those factions unique and making something interesting. And so, interesting to hear your comment there. Appreciate you sharing that. While we are shooting these vampires to death, let's get one more comment here. Jade Lion knocking over the Orc War Boss and making him immune to damage so the ability does nothing. Definitely something to be careful of in a battle. Yeah, I noticed that too, and I'd wondered after the fact. I was like, maybe the Lion interfered with the ability or something. And I'd kind of wondered the same thing, so that may very well have been the case. I don't know for certain. Okay. Well, our archers are absolutely shredding these low armor vampire units. Here comes the hounds, and followed by the bats, I'm sure. The bats probably just, yeah, I expected them to go for my archers, and that's what they did. Alright, so bats went for the archers. Excellent. We are doing just fine here, just fine. But see, the Jade Warriors are near invulnerable to the vampires. These particular vampire units are awful against armor. And... oh, by the way, you get this ability, by the way, with your guy. I should have used that earlier. It basically makes your guys a lot tougher for, like, the... it's really good kind of like early in the duration of a fight, because it'll make it where you take less damage on the charge and stuff. So, but I do like the Celestial General. This is a really nice ad. Other people did leave comments, by the way. I don't remember the exact comments, but I'll summarize it. But there were comments where people were frustrated that Cathay had not been given updated hero abilities, or that they still didn't have a hero who helps with replenishment. I hope we'll see more of that type of thing in the future, but I have to say, the Celestial General is a nice ad, in my opinion, for Cathay. It does fill a nice niche there where you're looking for a competent melee general, but also one who has some other purposes. So, like, I really like the Celestial General. Now I would probably be, you know, going back and forth between those and the Dragon-Blooded Shugengen. The Magistrate, I haven't looked at it to see if it got updated. Maybe it did, and if it did, maybe the Magistrate's worth it, but other than that, like, I don't really like the Magistrate. But Moreland says, I sure was dreaming about the stat slider a few videos back. Happy days. Also, Yuan Bo doesn't have to deal with managing yin-yang on the provinces. Even happier days. So you don't deal with yin and yang at a faction level right now. So, but you do deal with yin and yang at, like, I believe it's a province level, but not the faction level. So let me show you what I'm saying. We're going to go ahead and occupy the Baleful Hills here. So you do still have yin and yang right here, and again, it goes across a province, so like all of these settlements, but you don't have to deal with it up here at like a faction level where you're teetering on the, you know, research. Which research should I pick? How do I balance it with that? Honestly, I like this change that CA made, but I know some people actually like the yin and yang the old way. It might have been cool to have like a toggle there for Cathay where you could have played it either way. But I don't know, maybe that gets too complicated for CA to handle. I don't know. But it may have been a way to strike the kind of best of both worlds. But sometimes when you try for the best of both, you get the worst of either. We can get Jade Warriors locally now, so I am going to go ahead and grab another couple of those because money is allowing. And we're going to stay offensive right now and just kind of really go for it here. This army has replenished enough that we can get into the Shrine of Sotek. We will grab those dies and improve our trade. And hopefully that's the end of the Blue Vipers here. Hopefully they don't... yep, okay, they did not have an army out and about somewhere. Awesome. So you can see that that's really driving up our money between that port, and that port will help us with trade as well, and growth, and then we'll be able to get the dies there soon. So we are definitely... ooh, and here comes our iron for trade as well. So we're going to be in good shape, financially speaking. And speaking of, while we are replenishing for a couple of turns, I should probably top off another unit in here. Let's go ahead and grab these Empress Crowmen. Nice unit. That's a nice new regiment of renown. And then I think we're going to go ahead and march against the lizards. And they're stronger than me, supposedly. And I don't doubt it. I expect this to be tough, but I'm hoping that with a little shenaniganry we can take care of. Do they have any allies yet? They do not. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely going to be the time to attack them before they get allies. Let's actually head back in here and look for some quick deals. The Imperial Wardens are looking for trade. So let's hand it to them. And, oh, they want a Confederation, the Imperial Wardens. They must be getting beat up. That would give me a wall position. I would have to defend said wall, but still, that would be kind of cool to have a position on the wall. and it gives me access to others. So let's actually take that Confederation. They must be in trouble, which is why they want it. So let's propose that offer.
Smile.
And we'll head into that wall settlement. Okay.
Celestial General.
What else we got? Quick deals. We've almost got the Celestial Loyalist interested in a trade deal. We can go ahead and get this agreement with the northern provinces, and then
Lord of
Bordalo is interested in a non-aggression pact.
As you say.
Okay.
Instrument of the Divine.
Celestial Loyalists
I am
now
equipped
appear
to talk
interested
on
in a
military
trade agreement.
matters. I understand this.
Sweet.
Storm Dragon.
Building it up.
Atten-
Miao Ying.
Okay, good stuff. So we've gotten our first Confederation, and we now own the Snake Gate. The cool thing about the Snake Gate is if we put the right buildings in here, we can pay a lot less for the army that's garrisoned there, which is what I'm going to work on. So we do have an army here. It's not an amazing army, but it's an army, and we have a pretty solid garrison, so I think we'll be able to defend the Snake Gate, and we will reduce the upkeep of that army here shortly.
Instrument of
Okay,
the Divine.
we do have unassigned skill points for Yuan Bo. I'm going to do Route Marcher, Reassuring Presence, and then Quartermaster, so I can drop the upkeep of my armies and recruit more armies. Really want to get as many armies up and running as we can. Cathay is fairly wealthy in terms of my opinion about what they can churn out as a faction. Unit experience gain per turn for armies in the province. That would actually be pretty cool, but of course the growth is going to be really helpful, plus the reduction in construction cost. Okay. Yeah, I think we're in solid position. Let me see if I can get a couple more comments in here for those who were kind enough to leave it. Speaking of, appreciate those who left the comments. Please continue to do so. I love these comments. They add a lot of spice. Even if I don't reply to them, I promise you I read all the comments. Like when I'm laying in bed trying to go to sleep every night, I'm reading all the comments. Let's see. Vinius says, credit where credit's due. Adding the modifier slider finally lets me go from normal battle to hard. And he said, pretty happy about this. Absolutely refused to let my spear elite units get killed by Skaven slaves. Exactly. Exactly. So not everybody's going to feel this way, but many of us do. And the reason why I love the slider is because for the people who don't feel the same way, they can keep that slider where it was, and they can let the AI continue to have ludicrous leadership and break the balance of the game.
Dragon.
That is totally fine, because again, part of the reason I was calling for this is because people should have the opportunity to pick and choose the way that they want to customize their campaign, and CA had already started that in earnest. By adding all the in-game scenarios and other stuff like that. This is great. It's a step in the right direction. I'm very excited about it. That slider is a great deal. There are more sliders and buttons that can come into play. Oh boy.
Such a thing is impossible.
Yeah, we're about to learn.
General of the Celestial
we're
Host.
about to have a visit from the vampires here. Am
Humility in all
I going to
things.
suffer attrition out here? I'm not. I'm going to move out right in front of the settlement and enter an ambush stance.
Trickery is unbecoming.
It's only a 45% chance of success, but if we were to catch that vampire, now hang on, I'm trying to remember what happens. They enter battle tired. Push defense chance is -25. Retreat will be impossible as well. We could march on that army
General.
and just try to out and out defeat it. The problem is I don't know what else is in it.
Trust in the dragon.
What we could do is this. Let's move forward just a little, see if we get eyes on that army. Oh, wow. Yeah, they got another one right behind it.
It is an imbecilic thing to bother.
They act like they want peace already, which is interesting. Still can't see everything in that army. We have a little bit of movement points, though. It's... Why am I so...
First among warriors.
Like, I'm like right in their face, and I can't see what's in their army.
Cease.
It looks like garbage to me.
General of the Celestial Host. Leader of men.
I'm gonna take a risk here, and I'm gonna attack them. Yeah, this is definitely a risk worth taking. Let's go ahead and fight this. And I'll get some comments while we're going through the loading screens here as well. But yeah, I love the slider. I think that's fantastic. Francisco, thank you for being a supporter of the channel for so long. Says, apart from seeing new content on Yuan Bo, for whom I was very excited when I saw the trailer and deep dive, I think CA's addition of dynamic change to the AI buffs, depending on the campaign difficulty, was a must, and I'm very happy to see it. Yeah, I I think that they made some big improvements here to the AI. I like the slider and this other stuff because to me, like I said, it allows me to get the AI making slightly better decisions. And I definitely think that they're moving in the right direction with those decisions. So as much negative as we're all feeling from that statement, that is definitely, hopefully, like if there's a silver lining anywhere, is that I think some of these changes are good. And I hope we get to see more positive changes in the future. Okay, I'm going to get my Lord up front because he's going to be a pretty good tank against these cheap vampire units. And this hill is not great. They have to attack me. I mean, I could deploy farther back. That water's crossable, so we could just do this, actually. This is just a... I don't know how much difference it makes to the melee and stuff, but this is definitely a superior fighting position back here. Let's go ahead and start the battle. In fact, I'm going to move a little farther like this. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to move over here. The vampires have to come to me. They have no range. So they are moving the dire wolves quickly to my flank. Okay. Our army will be in position in time. We are up against a lot of skeleton warriors. If we can get their Master Necromancer up close enough, I can target him down with my archers and destroy him. Let's go ahead and fast forward. This army is very boring in terms of it doesn't offer any variety, but does offer, I think, solid performance against these particular vampire armies. Okay, here comes those dire wolves. They're really acting like they want to get clear in behind me, and I do not want them to because I actually cannot defend my entire backline. So I'm going to actually push out here, attempt to engage these dire wolves at a distance from my lines. A little bit risky in the sense that I can't let these units get around me.
Never conquered.
There we go. Alright, let's get into these units. The archers have opened fire. I am short a spear unit over here, so if those bats end up in my archers, that is actually going to be a little problematic. And I wonder if I could bust through with Yuan and get to their Necromancer. Okay, good defense over here. Oh, we got outflanked by those bats. We might be in a little bit of trouble out there. This looks like it was a mistake. I'm going to have to pour some supporting fire out that direction. Okay, I'm going to reline those archers and send some support fire out there. I might start moving some spears this direction just to be on the safe side of things. And my Celestial General, I'm going to put a little bit of... Can I reach out here? No, not quite, unfortunately. Put that there to help them. And, oh, we got through the lines to their Necromancer. Alright, we're going to go after that Master Necromancer. Oof, we did get rolled up on that flank. I'm glad I started moving spears that direction. This is bad. So I made a mistake. I got too far out from my lines. I should have stayed closer. I probably lost the yin-yang harmony there. My swordsmen, though, are holding strong due to that extra armor, and then their leader is now in some pretty serious trouble. And my next spear unit has managed to catch their units. Now I can realign, and then my spears came back from routing. So we are good. Bit of an early mess up on my part, but we can save it. Yeah, like I said, these swords are near invulnerable to the skeletons just because the skeletons just do not have the armor-piercing capability, so that's why the Jade Warriors, in my opinion, make such a great unit here against the vampires. The vampires do have units for taking down armor. If they had ethereal units, we would be in some major trouble right now, huge trouble. But skeletons are more of chaff, whereas you need to follow it up with like Black Coach, Vargals, what do you call them? Oh crap, they're monstrous infantry that I can't think of the name at the moment. Crypt Ghouls, no, Crypt Horrors, my bad. Yeah, so the Crypt Horrors, stuff like that. Alright, we took out the Necromancer, and he is out of here, and that is going to give us a solid victory here against the vampires. They were in a forced march, so that should be the end of their army, but, you know, that whole the dead rise again thing, I know it's been nerfed, but it may still be a big factor. But yeah, that was a solid win for us. Pyrrhic Strategos, thanks for being such a long time channel member. He says, great start to the campaign, Air. I like how he can insta-kill enemy lords and heroes if they're below 20 HP. Pretty nifty. Yeah, it is a cool ability. It makes him interesting. And then he's called the Executioner, and so I think it's really cool because it's like a fitting ability that makes him special. If I remember right, though, it's similar in a way to High Elf Batman, right? Because he had like a trap that he could put there and hold them in place while he assassinated them. So similar, but a little bit different still. Okay, we can totally replenish this army. Ooh, we picked up this Crystal Kunlun there. That's really nice. Explosion ability. Recharges if you're in melee. Okay. And we got a Warhorse. The other vampire army is not in range. However, we kind of see where they might have to move. Like if they want to come up to this settlement, we could catch them in an ambush right here, I think. So I'm going to move right here and drop an ambush. See if we can draw that army into our territory.
Attention.
We can put a point into sure aim and unyielding here. And that was a really good outcome for us in that battle. I'm glad that that ended the way it did. We are not going to be moving that army. And let's see. Where's the... yeah, upkeep. Yin and Yang. So this one is going to be a good one to go to, right of Yang. Let's start working that direction. I'm going to drop our upkeep cost. And then we'll do it the other direction too. So those upkeep costs will help us a pretty good deal. Building available. We do have plenty of money for these buildings because we finished our caravan, I believe. And the building we are looking for is this one. That's going to drop our upkeep on that army, which will help significantly. And then as far as the other building I want to put here, it would be nice to have some growth, like extra growth here, until we get big enough in this gate to be like full force. So there we go. Anyway, yeah, appreciate all the comments. That's pretty much all the time I'm going to have for this episode. I apologize that I didn't get to all the comments, but there was too many that I would be able to cover in this episode. But I very much appreciate you all watching. I hope you continue to enjoy it. I'll continue to bring this to you, and we'll have fun here. And, you know, if you have ideas for, like, fun objectives in the campaign or something like that, other than what we're already shooting for, I am happy to listen to those. Okay, they're still looking for a peace treaty, but I am not giving it to them. They are going down, and we're going to expand our home territory in Grand Cathay. We took a risk holding on to this territory, and I would love to make that risk pay off. All right, so that's it, folks. I'll see you on the next episode where we are going to attack the Lizardmen of Hexotl. Let's see whether there's been any change. We are now technically stronger than them on the strength rating, but remember, that's partly based on an army that's on a different continent. And it also very much depends on what Mazdamundi's army looks like, and Mazdamundi himself is a scary unit, again, depending on the circumstance. So,
General.
I do not see that other vampire army. They might be waiting to ambush me, in fact, now. But I'm going to actually head over into the Bridge of Heaven, and we'll end the episode with this. So, we gained a lot of territory, expanded our holding. Money is plentiful. We just picked up another resource and another port here. So this is definitely a good situation for me because that's going to allow me to bring in yet more Jade Warriors. I will see you all in the next episode. HeirofCarthage, signing out.